We did a flash sale last week, and everyone who was 100% gonna buy bought. Like, all the fence sitters now are left. Generally, I mean, I got 75 people to buy in the flash sale last week because I put a limit on it, and that was exciting. It was time bound and it was quantity bound. Which we can talk about the strategy of that in a second, but generally with a launch, I've launched like 5 products now. Usually the launch sale time frame is 3 to 5 days, and the first and the last day are always the biggest. It bookends. The middle is kind of like whatever you see, stragglers. So the first day was basically last week, so that was the flash sale. So this is day 2. Day 2 notoriously sucks. Like, yeah. Everyone's excited day 1, and then day 2 you're dealing with fence sitters, and these people need proof. Like, they need to be like prove to me that this is worth my money. I want to buy it, but you got to prove it to me, and you can't get that proof until people start using it and get you social feedback.
The bookend concept is fascinating because, well, there's 2 things here. Yeah. There's like 2 things at play. One is there's the group of people, the super consumers of you and your work and the stuff, who are going to buy no matter what.
Yep.
Those people bought in the pre-sale,
yep.
Not necessarily launch. And pre-sale this is the first time you've done a pre-sale, and you created scarcity and urgency by capping it at 75 people.
Yeah.
And you put a 24-hour shot clock on it.
I've done pre-sales before, but I've never capped it by. I've done one other pre-sale for
it's like, hey, the product's not ready.
It's not ready.
You cannot have it right now,
but you can grab it at like a super discount for 24 hours. So I've capped it by shot clock. I like that phrase. I'm going to use that now.
Good.
So I've shot clocked it, but I've never. What's like a good verb for quantity limited it?
Ceiling.
Okay, I've never put a ceiling. So I've never had a pre-sale do this well. It's crazy.
I think the scarcity and urgency are the 2 craziest levers, and this is why the bookend thing that you are articulating exists. Because there's no urgency to buy unless the sale ends in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. When the sale ends today, all the people who are like, okay, I'll do it. Like, they have no reason to do it. They will sit on the fence until you kick them off.
Yeah.
And we've experienced that with this program. I mean, we've come up with ways to introduce scarcity and urgency into the purchase process to people who would probably otherwise have sat on the fence.
Yeah.
For a while.
Talk to people about what we've done recently that's worked in the past few days for full stack, just to switch products really quickly.
Yeah. So one of the things that I experienced, this isn't like a novel idea, by the way. This is just, we were scratching our heads trying to figure out how do we introduce a little bit more urgency into the sale, because people can do it whenever, right? This isn't a cohort. There's rolling enrollment, and that by design is not very urgent. Because we didn't want to continue to launch for all the reasons that you're articulating, right? It's fucking exhausting.
It's exhausting.
So we introduced a shot clock, like a fast action discount, to the purchasing process now, which people have done to me. And I was always like, damn, this is such a good idea. And I never thought much of it until now.
It's so hard to do the things that work on you. I don't know why. You just don't.
You don't think about it.
You don't think about
it. It's so deep, buried deep into your subconscious that you don't realize what's happening until it's already happened.
Yeah.
Or when you're in the situation, scratch your head going, how do I introduce urgency to a thing that is not very urgent in this way?
Right.
Like, people find the problem urgent, but just like the urgency to join a group coaching program about it versus all the other different ways that people could solve the problem. That's the thing. So we've introduced a shot clock to the purchase process of full stack, and that has made a massive difference. Could you do it in a service-based business? I think so.
Maybe.
I think so.
We should
I've seen
probably have you seen people do it? I was gonna say we should run a
Yeah.
test. Tell me about what you've
Yeah,
seen.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure Premium Ghostwriting Academy has it. So that's more like that's like it tilts it's a similar model in which there's like a course and then they have group calls, but I would think it like leans heavier into this service because they do like 5 calls a week or something crazy. Like they do a lot of calls,
Mm,
but the program's like 6 grand. And I'm pretty sure they introduce like a shot clock where they're like, right after you get off the call with the salesperson, they're like, we reward people who take action. If you want like $1,000 off the program, you can get it within if you buy within the next 24 hours.
yeah.
And I might be embellishing this one a bit, but I'm fairly certain that they do that. I have never seen someone do it for a straight up consulting service. I think that might minimize. I would think that minimizes a lot of your power as a consultant
Yeah.
for sure. I've seen people like the agencies tend to do some of this. Like if you sign in the next 24 hours, we'll give you a free blog post or something stupid. And you're like, you'll get an extra blog post for signing soon. And it's like you're just driving your value into the ground on that front. But
Yeah. I'm trying to
um,
think, like, how would I respond if I wanted coaching
it's a pressure, right?
and
Like
the
people
coach was
don't like.
like, if you wanna work with me and you choose to in the next 24 hours, you can get a discount. Like, I don't know if that would incentivize me in the same way.
I don't think people particularly appreciate pressure in that type of sales environment. When you talk
Yeah.
about products, like this is kind of the name of the game when you're selling products
Right.
because there's it's a traffic based thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a volume play and it doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
Right.
When you're talking about
Yeah, yeah.
relationships in a more traditional considered sales process
Yeah.
or like a consideration based sales process for a buyer, like that, the pressure would probably turn people off.
I agree. Yeah, that would feel weird.
Yeah.
It's so
I know.
interesting how the relationship versus the product is so different.
Yeah. Especially the price point of the product
Yeah.
matters. So I think what's full price on MP3 content engine?
It'll be 249,
249. What'd you sell the pre-launch for?
149,
What's the launch price?
174. So it was 50% off and now it's 30% off.
Hmm.
The reason why you wanna price it higher than potentially the value is so that the launch goes better than expected, because you need to be able to discount a product by at least 30% for it to matter.
Yeah. We got told that when we launched Full Stack. They were like,
Yeah,
"That's not that great
it
of a
wasn't
discount."
enough. I
It
agree, yeah.
wasn't enough.
Yeah, that was a
And
mistake.
did we leave money on the table? Maybe.
Yeah.
Um, I do think the price of Full Stack was always gonna be in flux. I don't think we'll ever necessarily land on, like, the perfect number, but
Yeah.
I don't know but the price also determines the type of people you get,
Mhm.
right? Same with whether it's consulting services or products. I think products in the full stack space, we didn't wanna go much lower than that launch price because if we did, you kinda end up with the wrong people.
Right.
We wanted to price out people who were looking for more, like, digital course.
Right.
That was by design.